Pleased with the team today. I felt like they responded to, for us, kind of average performances. And so challenged them today. I felt like they accepted the challenge. Nicole May was outstanding. Our pitching staff, to shut down a team like this who at one time was leading the country in home runs, and uh, just finding way, their offense is what they're known for as well. Besides their pitching staff, I think they did a good job of keeping us off balance, but today was really important for us to respond, and I'm really happy about that. It's happy about the sweep, and now we can just kind of drop that and look forward to Tuesday, which is going to be a big opportunity for the Sooners on the road.
I wanted to ask you about Haley, just the two home runs today. She had one on Friday. Maybe just her performance this weekend and how she's progressed this season.
She is probably one of the most comfortable players that I've ever coached. Just really nothing affects her. She'll talk it out to herself, and she really speaks it out loud and affirms it out loud, and it's almost like she speaks it into existence. And so now when you see people talking to themselves, we've got the Haley Lee factor happening. Just powerful, covers the plate well. No count is a count that she's uncomfortable with. I mean, she's good with two strikes. That's why she's one of the best hitters in the country, to me.
And Patty, specifically the way that she sort of spread the ball around this series, when you think about each of the home runs to a different field and being able to take inside pitches, take outside pitches, and still have some power to them.
Yeah, she's just made that way. She's built that way. She's gotten really strong. She came here strong, but just continued her training. I think it's not easy to come from a program and fall into ours and learn a new system of hitting. And I don't think JT tried to change a lot, but she still has to kind of follow the lead. And she has really found herself getting very, very comfortable, and she is in her groove right now. I'm really excited about how she's going to help this team down the stretch.
Patty, in all three games, your defense is so good.
Yeah.
I mean, it keeps you in every game.
Yeah.
Rob's.
We work on it a lot, and these are not easy plays. I mean, Riley Boone's play was tremendous, and even Alina Torres, who is a shortstop third baseman, made a really good play. She's getting really good jumps, and what she has done that has been fantastic is saying, okay, I see that I'm not working on the left side of the infield, but I need to get on this field, embrace the opportunity. She's been working her tail off, has great jumps out there. I've been really proud of her. It's allowed her to get a lot of opportunity.
What did you? Tech. Tech. They're a pretty good team, and you guys just rolled them. What did you think of them this week?
They do have big swings. They're very aggressive. The key for me, I think, is just the way our pitchers can change speeds and move the ball pretty dramatically. I don't know that they've seen much of that. So I think that was a little bit of their struggle, but they definitely swing it. They're very aggressive early in the count. They take their hacks. They don't get cheated. Their pitching staff, I thought it was a genius idea to do what he did. It really did bother us, and it's admitted. But once we figured out not to let that made us come back in this room and check ourselves and say, why are we griping about this? It's a challenge. Accept it as a challenge instead of, us whining about it. So we embraced it differently, and I think that helped the cause as well. But I just, you got to have a good pitching staff to shut those guys down, and our pitching staff was outstanding, phenomenal this weekend.
And Patty, you touched on it there in your opening statement, but Nicole's performance today, how important or big can that be for her? I know, obviously, the number's still really good, but it given up a couple runs the last couple starts. I know
It is so unheard of for you to say that. But
you look at how dominant she's been.
yeah.
But not just to not give up runs, but to sort of control the game.
No, I'm more confident in Nicole May than I ever have been thus far. And putting her on the mound, I feel very, very comfortable with all of them. But May has really kind of stepped into her own space and is really getting better with each outing. And I mean, that's what's crazy about it. The expectations of this team and this pitching staff and the way we play, everybody, I mean, I'm hearing some of our fans like, hit the ball! What's wrong with you guys? Like, we cannot hit home runs every at bat. We cannot strike out every player. We are human. We make errors here and there. So there's just no mercy for this team. But they, you know what? They like it. They don't mind it. They get a little bit griped, but they don't say much about it. They just embrace the fact that they want to be elite. They want to be great. So Nicole May is in a perfect place right now.
How important was it to you to get Ball out there, Hodge in there? You know, you get all three of your catchers in. How important is that for you down the stretch?
It's very important. I just had this conversation with the team, and that is, look, you must be a team player on this team because, one, many of you need to get off your feet and get some rest, and don't feel like you have to be in there for us to win because we're showing you I could put anybody, I could take an entire team off the field and bring in an entire new one, and we're just fine. And I don't think I've ever been able to say that. But there are people that want to swing. Like if I didn't have a good swing and I am expecting I'm coming back up and they're disappointed, and I get that. But team concept says we got to prepare these guys for injuries that might happen to any of our starters. But we also have to prepare the future, and nobody else is thinking about the future except me. I know what's coming down the pipe here in a year, and I know how important it is that we get opportunities for these young ones that are going to take over this program.
How long did it take you for you to learn how to do that throughout a season? I mean, you've coached for a long time, but at this level, maintaining it and continuing year after year of success, how long did it take you to figure that out, of being able to work girls through and continue to build them up?
Well, I mean, I've never been afraid as long as a player's focused and been working at practice and prepared. I'm never afraid to do it, and it's just so important for reps. It's important for growth. It's important for learning. It's important for future, and I want all these athletes to stay here. And with, you know, I'm not even going to talk portal, but everybody wants in, and they want in now. And I need to show them how valuable they are, all of them. So that aspect has changed because the players can do whatever they want, whenever they want after their season, right? So I love this group, and I'm wanting them all to feel valued and participating in these wins.
You mentioned it earlier, but how big of an opportunity Tuesday night is going to be?
Big, huge. If you've been there, and I have, I know what it feels like. But here's what's been happening, okay? And I know this isn't going to happen. I don't expect it to happen. You walk into a stadium and you're thinking everyone's going to be, you know, doing cheers for the other team. When you walk in, you hear "Boomer," and I'm like, oh no. I want a hostile environment. I want us to feel like we're the underdogs, and everything we don't do right is cheered, and everything they do right is cheered. I just want them to feel a chaotic environment, a suffocating environment, whatever we can take from it, to learn from it, is important, because we're walking into stadiums that are not our home stadiums, and it's a home crowd. It just kind of backfires on some growth at times. I really want to see them up against big-time players in a big-time environment, an SEC school, a future opponent. It's a tough place to play in any sport. I think everybody knows that. And I'm just really excited to see how we handle ourselves in that environment. It's been a long time since we've been able to simulate something like that.
And how intentional do you have to be when you're scheduling? Obviously, I know it's sometimes hard to get big teams in here. We talked about that Florida State earlier, but in just making sure you can get something like that, an environment that can, you know, build towards some growth.
Yeah, you you try to find the toughest place where you think you might play, where crowd can be a big factor, and where the team is good. And in first group, I thought of was LSU. Howard Dobson was a hitting coach here, so the tree reaches out there as well. Beth Torina is a great coach and friend, and loves that opportunity. As soon as I talked to her, she's like, "Let's go! Come on, come on, come on, come on!" And I'm like, "Well, you want to pay for our plane?" And she's like, "No, well, come on, come anyway, come anyway." But I appreciate that we're able to get in and get out, and that's just the support we get from this university and getting to go charter again. And it's going to be a big TV game, so just continuing growth for the sport and good visuals, good viewing, good viewership for anybody who wants to tune in and see, just in a very exciting atmosphere and two good top 10 teams playing against each other.
What does that speak to, you going back to what you said about the support and having fans that are willing to travel and just show up no matter where you go, but also looking that you're opening a new stadium here that's going to be more than double the capacity? What does that speak to the fan base and the support that you guys have had?
I hope that everybody understands. I think one of the most magical, memorable moments was that game a few weeks ago at the Hall of Fame Stadium for me, just because I've been in the history of that facility and I know what it looked like 30 years ago or over 30 years ago and where it's come now in just a regular season game. So our fans have been just unbelievable, but the fans are coming from not just Oklahoma, they're coming from states surrounding Oregon, Washington, Florida, Massachusetts, you name it, they're coming. 36 states of the 50 were represented at the Hall of Fame Stadium. And that is people wanting to see the matchups, and they're wanting to see the Sooners because it's hard to get in to see them in person. So the Sooner fans, it's not just our team, the fans have changed this sport and made it cool to watch and exciting to view and so forth. So, man, I said this, the fans, I could not love them any more than I do as they're following this team along, what they've been doing for this sport in general. If you start following games now, you're seeing sellouts. You're seeing crowds look completely different. There's no more like 100 people at a game. And I don't care if you're the number 1 team or the number 100th team, people still want to watch it. They're starting to get hooked on TV and they want to see it in person. So it's spreading across the country, which is unreal, wonderful.
You talk about that. When did you first start thinking that this was possible for the sport to take off the way it has?
Florida again?
That was big, but you know what, too? To me, everything changed in 2000 when OU was in the national championship game. And there was, now you got a home team, and there wasn't really even a sellout. The attitude was like, we're so excited you're in. If you win one game, that's going to be tremendous. Oh, we'll be so proud of you guys. Well, our team's never been there. We don't know if we're supposed to be. We don't know what we're supposed to feel. So the next game, there's 500 more. The next game, we're winning. We're in the semi. There's 7,000 or 700 more. It just kept adding and adding. And then it got televised, and I felt a slow growth there. And then I think when you were developing athletes like Kehlani Ricketts, and you're seeing just an elite-looking 6'3" lefty pitcher, wow, the Ostermans, now the elite pitchers are coming in, and but I'm going to have to kind of agree what ESPN has done with regionals, super regionals, and all World Series games and all these cameras. And it's so exciting to watch. It doesn't take your entire day. and people are just falling in love with the way they're playing and their personalities and their messaging and so forth. So there's just been, I mean, a couple of years ago, our backs are against the wall. We lose our first game. So you have two teams who are going with one loss all the way to the championship series. Every game that could have been played at the World Series was played. I don't know that you'll ever see that happen again. So it's those types of moments that, I mean, happens once, maybe will never happen again, that people are paying attention to.